Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So today I want to talk about the Barcelona news roundup, and I'm going to be speaking about multiple topics. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the injuries of the players, because we encountered multiple injuries after El Clasico. Also, I want to speak about the January transfer window, and then lastly I want to speak about Messi's contract renewal. So there's a lot going on in the club right now, and I'm going to be covering it here right now. So first I want to start with the injuries, and I'm going to be talking about Dembele and Arthur. Dembele and Arthur were in the training ground yesterday, and they were working together in the recovery process. And it was a very good sight to see, because we haven't seen Dembele at the training ground for a very long time. He was in Qatar for 3 weeks. He was starting his rehabilitation, and he won't be expected to come back until at least the end of January. But as long as he's making progress, that's the only thing that matters, and I hope that when he does come back, he comes back stronger. Then we saw Arthur on the training ground, who is suffering from a groin injury, and he is getting better also, and he is expected to come back sometime in January. And that is a huge plus for the club, because our midfield has been lacking intensity and athleticism, and because the only players that we have besides De Jong is Vidal and Rakitic, and they're not those type of players to have the intensity and press high and have all these athleticism capabilities, but Arthur does. So seeing him come back is going to be a very big plus for us. I cannot wait. I hope he does come back stronger than ever, and so I wish him the best. And now moving on to Busquets, the club did announce about 2 days ago that Busquets had a fever, and that's why he missed El Clasico. They had to announce that like about 20 minutes before the game even started. So, and then on Thursday he didn't participate in the training session. He said that he still had the fever, so they didn't see him at all on the training ground. And then on Friday he did participate in the training session, so hopefully he did get better. I don't want anything to be forced, because he is in the roster, which is the squad list that's going to be facing against Alaves. So I don't want him to be in there forced just because Valverde thinks he needs him. Now I want to move on to Ansu Fati. In El Clasico, Ansu Fati did participate in that game, and he did receive a knock to the hips, which gave him a hip problem. Like, he has like a bruised hip or something like that, and Barca did announce that he's not going to be participating in tomorrow's match. So hopefully he does get better. Barcelona did not announce a time frame for him to be back, and usually when that happens is because his injury is probably not that serious. Usually when the club doesn't give a time frame for the player to come back, that means that they're going to be back in no time. He's probably going to be back by the time January rolls around, and he'll be good to go. So he's just going to be missing in the game against Alaves, and that's probably it. He'll be back. So for those of you guys who are worried that he's injured for a very long time, or you feel like we're not going to see him for a very long time, he will be back. Now moving on to the January transfer windows, and we know how important this topic is, because over the past 5 months we have seen a lot of players frustrated because they haven't gotten the minutes that they think they deserve. They feel like they have been mistreated. So I want to talk about that today, and the players that I really want to focus on is Vidal, Rakitic, and Todibo. Especially Todibo, because when El Clasico was starting, Todibo's news about him moving to AC Milan was overshadowed by all of the El Clasico news. So I'm going to be talking about that today. So we have Rakitic, who was reported to move to Sevilla or Inter Milan. We also have Vidal reported to move to either Bayern Munich, Juve, Inter Milan, and then we had Juve saying that they're not interested anymore. And then Todibo, which is our academy player, it has been reported that he might move to AC Milan or Bayer Leverkusen, and now Manchester United are interested. And it has been reported also that Barcelona is unwilling to sell Todibo because they want a really good price for him. They said that they want around 20 to 25 million for Todibo if someone wants to buy him. So the rumors come and go, the players come in and then they pull out, and then they say that they don't want him anymore. And we're hearing all these stories, right? But to be honest, I don't think no player should leave the club in January. Like, I know these players did express their frustration in the beginning of the season. We had Rakitic, who was saying that they took the ball away from him, which basically means that he hasn't been playing a lot. We also have Vidal, who was frustrated like 2 days ago on the training session, and he was saying that he was really pissed off when he found out that he wasn't in the starting 11 when Barcelona was going to play against Real Madrid. And then Vidal got so mad that the players were trying to calm him down, but he couldn't calm down. All these players getting mad. And we also have Todibo. As good as he is, he hasn't been getting any minutes either. We saw him play against Inter Milan, and we saw how spectacular and how much potential that player has, and yet he still doesn't have any minutes. Out of all these rumors coming in and out, all these players saying this and that, no one should leave in the January transfer window. What needs to happen is that the Barca management needs to speak to these players and have them understand the role they have in the club, especially in the next 6 months. And we need them to understand that. We need them to understand that this is a all or nothing season, and we're heading into the most crucial part of the season. Even Valverde Valverde did express what he felt about the January transfer window, and he said, I'm really happy with the players I've got. I don't expect any modifications. So if anything, we need to be more together than ever, and we need those reinforcements. We need those players. As crowded as the midfield is, we do need all of them. Regardless if you think that the players don't perform well, we need them. And once the season ends in May or June, Barcelona can talk to the players and be like, okay, you can leave, or you can stay. But right now, we need to be reunited. We need to be reinforced because we have a lot of important games coming this season. Lastly, I want to talk about Messi's contract renewal. And today, it has been reported by Mundo Deportivo that Barca is ready to offer Messi a contract extension until the 2022-2023 season, meaning they want to tie down Messi for another 3 seasons. And that also means that by the time those 3 seasons are over and he does that renewal, he'll be 36 by the time that renewal contract ends. And 36 years old is a very old age. His current contract ends in 2021, which is not too long from now. That's literally like 1 year later. So I get why Barca really wants to tie down Messi, because they don't want to see Messi leave if he ever does decide to leave. And in my opinion, I think this negotiation is going to take a very long time for it to finally get its answers. I think we'll get the answers by the summer of 2020, and that's because of 3 reasons. The first reason is because Messi has said before that he doesn't want to be tied down with a club. And I get that. No player ever wants to be tied down with a club, because you never know how the club might be in 3 years. You never know how that player might be in 3 years. And the reason number 2, which is connected to my reason number 1, is that Messi likes to listen to his body year by year. He wants to know, am I able to bring good results to FC Barcelona this season? Do I feel well? Do I feel like I'm fast? Do I feel slow? He always wants to bring something to the club. He never wants to be a liability to the club, because we have seen multiple players overstay in their club and then they start performing like absolute trash for the club, and then they tarnish their legacy. And that leads me to reason number 3. This is not something that he said, but this is what I assume. I'm going based off what he said, and that is he doesn't want to be at the club until he completely finishes his body, because what that leads to is it ruins your legacy, and you're also leaving a bad mark behind when you leave the club. And I know for some reason, like I know this, like I can feel it. I know that Messi does want to leave Barcelona on a high note. Same thing that Xavi did in 2015. Xavi left on a high note in the 2015 season. In the 2015 season, Barca won the treble, and that's when Xavi left. He left on a high note, and I know Messi wants to do the exact same thing. And this is why I say it's kind of risky for Messi to agree on a contract where it's going to have him stay until the age of 36, because you don't know how he's going to play at the age of 36. What if he plays like complete trash? He's going to end up looking like a liability more than an asset for the club, and I know he doesn't want that. He wants what's best for the club. And so that's it for today's news roundup. I'm going to be doing more of these as the day comes by, because we are entering the winter transfer window, and I know a lot of rumors and reports are going to start coming out. Like I know there's going to be like a bunch of BS coming around all over the internet, and I'm going to be covering that here. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to have the Barcelona versus Alaves game pre-match preview in about 2 hours. Thank you for showing love. I'll see you guys next time.